As a finance professional in a disrupted business landscape, what does it take to be in demand? What does it take to attract great paying international roles? If you're an ICAN member, it'll just take one exam. That's all it takes to complete the globally recognized CIMA professional qualification and the internationally respected CGMA designation. As a CIMA member and a CGMA designation holder, employers will look at you as a finance professional, constantly acquiring new skills to add value to the business. That's why they'll be willing to pay premium to hire and retain you. If you have 5 years of relevant experience and are an ICAN member, you can directly sit for the final exam of the CIMA Professional Qualification, the Strategic Case Study exam. Start studying the CIMA Professional Qualification. Prepare to make an impact.
Good evening, professional colleagues and friends of the Noble Institute ICAN. You are welcome to the special edition of ICAN on Air, and we are live in Abuja to give you this special edition. Of course, you know, we have promised you that we're going to have 2 editions this week. Today, 10th October 2023, we shall be giving to you all that has transpired so far in the ongoing 53rd Annual Accountant Conference. So we do not have a guest for today. But all that we have started since yesterday, we are going to show it live to you, and I promise you, you are going to enjoy the collage of the video. So please don't go away. Stay tuned and enjoy. I'll be right back with you.
Tax romance, pay your tax online. That is the easiest way, yeah, to pay your tax.
Companies income tax, value added tax, tertiary education tax, pay with tax romance, for returns when due, pay your tax correctly, and get your e-tax clearance. Pay your tax online.
My better people for Obodo Nigeria, I don't bring better information come give una. To pay your tax now, it don't dey easy like ABCD. With this new Ogbonge platform where the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, don't bring come, then they call them Tax Promax. With this one, now for your house or office, you go just dey pay your tax. And if you want pay your tax, make you log into www.taxpromax.firs.gov.ng. This message, now the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, they bring them for now.
Pay your tax online.
Security is key to national development and growth. No nation can be truly economically successful without peace and stability, or when its security is threatened. This is why we must perform our civic obligation of duly paying our taxes so as to provide the needed resources for government to secure our lives and properties. When we pay our taxes, government is provided with the needed resources to equip our security agencies for a safer Nigeria. The money we pay as taxes is used to purchase equipment and hardware, invest in intelligence and other sophisticated technology, as well as cater for the welfare of all security personnel. A secure nation is a prosperous nation. Nigeria is safer when we pay our taxes. FIRS, it pays to pay your tax.
Let me start by first appreciating you all for being part of this great gathering of professionals. We are honored to have the presence of His Majesty, the Oni of Ife. Thank you for being with us. Today, I want to talk about the Annual Accountant Conference. The Annual Accountant Conference, organized by ICAN, has become the largest gathering of professional accountants at one spot in the entire continent of Africa. But you may wish to know that it is not just the entire Africa. In fact, it has become the largest gathering of chartered accountants in one spot in the entire globe, in the whole world. And I was discussing with the IFAC president. She informed me she was coming from France, and that she addressed a gathering of 7,000 chartered accountants, and that to her should be the biggest gathering of chartered accountants. And I told her that we are going to beat that number in this conference. And as you have heard, we have numbers going to 8,000. So I have just told her that we have beaten the record. So we need to clap for ICAN. I therefore will call on the IFAC president, to officially recognize the AAC in Nigeria as the largest gathering of accountants in one spot on the surface of the globe. Now, I want to go to the planning of the Annual Accountant Conference. We may not know, but there's a planning that goes on with the Annual Accountant Conference. And that planning is preceded by the selection of the conference theme. And in this, the consideration that overrides our choice has always been our public interest mandate. Our public interest mandate aims at the greater good. So, rather than focus on the advancement of the accounting profession alone, we focus more on what is in the interest of the greater public, the masses, the downtrodden, the poor, as opposed to the elite. So as far back as December last year, when we didn't know whose government will be in power come May of this year, we chose the conference theme to be Nigeria, the imperatives of inclusive development. In this lies setting the tone for the incoming government. And that's what we did. We wanted to set the tone for the incoming government, not knowing which political party will win the election. I thank the chairman of the conference, Chief Chibuzo Ayanechi, past President Ismaila Zakari, Mr. Taiwo Oyedele, Mr. Ulubenru, and other members of the ad hoc committee that put their heads together to come up with this topic. Ladies and gentlemen, you will agree with me that the theme of this conference is apt in the face of the bold economic policies of the present administration and what the citizens have to grapple with. For example,
Dear professional colleagues, friends of the Institute, and delegates to the conference, you are welcome to ICC, the center of the 53rd Annual Accountant Conference. And this is now the D-Day, the much talked about 53rd Annual Accountant Conference. We have commenced. You would not want to miss any part of the program. You are watching us virtually, you are here physically, you are going to be enjoying the 53rd Annual Accountant Conference. We have a lot for you, don't miss out. Stay tuned.
The long-awaited 53rd Annual Accountant Conference is here, today being the 10th day in the month of October 2023, and we've been having exciting programs, insightful discussions around Nigeria imperatives for inclusive development. So you're welcome to the program, and we hope that you have a very exciting time with us today. We have a lot of programs lined up for you, for your viewing pleasure, and we'll tell you that physically you enjoy the session and also virtually. Keep the program going, and we'll promise you that you have a great time with us today on ICAN on Air. My name remains Fumi Olani.
Privilege to stand in front of a big audience like yours today, and in countries like Nigeria. I feel so blessed and humbled and very, very touched by the hospitality that I get from your people. So thank you very much for all the hospitality and the warm welcome. And for me, this shows one thing important is the respect and admiration that you all have for IFAC as a global organization. So thank you again for honoring IFAC through honoring me. IFAC needs you all, and remember, without you there would be no IFAC. Indeed, ladies and gentlemen, the relationship between IFAC and ICAN has always been very strong. IFAC became a founding member of ICAN, became a founding member of IFAC in 1977, and you have served Nigeria for much longer, back to 1965. ICAN members have always been outstanding individual contributors to IFAC in its different boards and advisory groups. And currently, we are fortunate to have 4 volunteers from IFAC, from ICAN, and these volunteers are Mr. Ismaila Zakari, who is in the IFAC board, Mr. Razak Jayola, who is in PAO-DAG, Mrs. Comfort Eitayo in SMPAG, and Dr. Okuwosa in IPAE. So thank you all for your contributions, and thank you to all the many past individual contributors from ICAN. So in the spirit of the Congress, let me now turn to the very big topic of inclusive development that you have chosen for this Congress. This theme recognizes an important facet of the overall agenda of sustainability, that larger transformations are not possible without the diverse contributions and experiences of all individuals and communities within society. And many specific goals fit under this umbrella, such as shared prosperity for economic growth, ending gender inequality, and universal access to good education. But the concept is much more dynamic than any single goal and much more ambitious. And let me approach the theme of inclusive development through the lens of sustainability. Sustainability is a topic that IFAC has been advocating for years, and on which I would like to contribute to the conversation from a global perspective. And let me first acknowledge that the word sustainability means different things to different people. You might be simply interested in living a greener lifestyle, or taking action regarding climate change, or better managing funds in a sustainable way, or improving governance, etc. And the most important thing is that everyone needs high-quality ESG information for well-informed decisions. And that goes for several stakeholders: consumers, capital providers, capital markets, governments, non-profits, and businesses, both large and small. And ESG needs to incorporate each of the three factors: environmental, social, and governance. And this is where we come in. As professional accountants, we are the enablers of sustainability. We are at the center of information flows and decision-making. We can integrate financial and non-financial information. And wherever we find ourselves in the value chain, as preparers, senior management, board and audit committee members, or in firms.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the dignitaries that are here today, a very long list indeed. The day has been very far spent, but ICAN has honored me to be the royal father of the day. I should honor ICAN back as well by not spending too much of your time. I'll be very brief with my Goodwill message. I will only spend 2 hours. I've been to all corners of this country. It is only one professional body that can honor dignitaries for over an hour. A resounding round of applause for ICAN. Too many powerful people in this accounting conference, too many powerful dignitaries that have one way or the other played a very pivotal role in nation building. I've had many generals, accountant general, Auditor General, Major General, Commissioner General, Governor General, Minister General, General. Please give yourself a resounding round of applause. I have to make my speech very light because we have been seated and we've been listening to all the positive contribution of all the speakers. But today, I want to use this medium to give special appreciation to ICAN. Everything I have become in my life, thanks to ICAN. The most formative period of my life that I would never forget for the rest of my life, thanks to ICAN. I started out at a very young age. My greatest aspiration to be a chartered accountant before age 21. I started from accounting technician scheme set up by one of the past presidents, late Balogun Omidiora. I was one of the qualified associates for the scheme, and I went on and on to those days of almighty failure in one, failure in all. Are you all feeling me here? I'm not hearing your voice very well. Oh. Gone are those days. To the glory of God, I wrote it to the final level. And they were teaching us then that accountants don't make the best entrepreneurs. So I just said, okay, what next? After this final exam, I said, all along, I just want to be an entrepreneur. I just fired off. I started a business, and to the glory of God, everything I learned from ICAN made me to what I am today. All the way to becoming a serial entrepreneur, and I use my accounting background to put a very good structure around my business, and lo and behold, the king is in front of you today as the royal father. So I should give honor to ICAN. If you are there seated, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, one way or the other, ICAN has been impactful in your life. I want you to all stand up for this great body. Give this great body a resounding applause. We have over 8,000 delegates here. One way or the other, the compare said you should keep clapping when it's silent, but it is not silent.
As a finance professional in a disrupted business landscape, what does it take to be in demand? What does it take to attract great paying international roles? If you're an ICAN member, it'll just take one exam. That's all it takes to complete the globally recognized CIMA professional qualification and the internationally respected CGMA designation. As a CIMA member and a CGMA designation holder, employers will look at you as a finance professional, constantly acquiring new skills to add value to the business. That's why they'll be willing to pay premium to hire and retain you. If you have 5 years of relevant experience and are an ICAN member, you can directly sit for the final exam of the CIMA Professional Qualification, the Strategic Case Study Exam. Start studying the CIMA Professional Qualification. Prepare to make an impact.
Tax romance. Pay your tax online. That is the easiest way, to pay your tax.
Companies income tax, value added tax, tertiary education tax, pay with tax program, for returns when due, pay your tax correctly, and get your e-tax clearance. Pay your tax online.
My better people for Obodo Nigeria, I don't bring better information come give una. To pay your tax now, it don't dey easy like ABCD. With this new Ogbonge platform where the Federal Inland Revenue Service (FIRS) don't bring come, then they call them Tax Promax. With this one, now for your house or office, you go just dey pay your tax. And if you want pay your tax, make you log into www.taxpromax.firs.gov.ng. This message now the Federal Inland Revenue Service (FIRS) they bring am for now.
Pay your tax online.
Security is key to national development and growth. No nation can be truly economically successful without peace and stability, or when its security is threatened. This is why we must perform our civic obligation of duly paying our taxes so as to provide the needed resources for government to secure our lives and properties. When we pay our taxes, government is provided with the needed resources to equip our security agencies for a safer Nigeria. The money we pay as taxes is used to purchase equipment and hardware, invest in intelligence and other sophisticated technology, as well as cater for the welfare of all security personnel. A secure nation is a prosperous nation. Nigeria is safer when we pay our taxes. FIRS, it pays to pay your tax.
Where is Nigeria in all of this? On this scale? In other words, what is it that we're trying to measure? What is it that we're trying to change? And I want to say, if you can't measure it, you can't improve it. What are we trying to improve? First, I want to share two statistics. They said one, Edelman's Trust Index, as at 2022, says that only 35% of Nigerians trust government. The World Bank's Government Effectiveness Index ranks Nigeria 164 out of 191. And the World Bank's Country Policy and Institutional Assessment Index, CPIA 2022, on a scale of 1 to 6, Nigeria's ranking is very, very poor, aggregate of 3.2. Policies for social inclusion and equity, 3.5. Gender equality, 3. Equity in public sector resource use, 3.5. Building human resources, 3.5. Social protection and labor, 4. Policies and institutions. We have public sector management and institutions. Our aggregate is abysmal 2.8. And then policies and institutions for environment, sustainability, 3. Quality of budget and financial management, 3.5. Efficiency of revenue mobilization, 3.5. Transparency, accountability, and corruption in public sector, just 3. In other words, my dear friends, the CPIA puts Nigeria at 3.2. And we have been declining since 2013. And Rwanda is ranked 4.0. We are 3.2. And the question I want to ask, and I will be discussing, this might be part of my messages for this conference, whether there is a correlation between public trust on government plus this CPIA and government effectiveness rating and ranking on the one hand, and the ranking on the Fragile States Index. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the Fragile States Index, where Nigeria has been oscillating between 14th and 15th position in the world for the last decade, and categorized under the red alert categories of countries. Is there a link between where you rate on these other micro, macro parameters of accountability and so on, versus the overarching architecture of governance, institutions, and so on that prevail? Can the micro outperform the meta-meso level architecture? That's a major question that I will leave for you. And we'll say for effectiveness, that is, to what extent can the macro level issues of accountability and transparency and public trust outperform the underlying meta-meso structures of the country? And I ask that the global standards matter. That's as we park that question on the one side. Of course, globally, as we've heard from the IFAC president, I mean, there are all manner of efforts, and I'm very glad that the accountants are focusing on inclusive development, much broader issue than the nuts and bolts of having the balance sheets and so on matters. There's no shortage of global best practices, conventions, and initiatives that promote accountability, transparency, and therefore trust in governance. Open government partnerships, global initiative for fiscal transparency, global financial action task force, you know much about them. Access to information laws like freedom of information laws, whistleblower protection initiatives, global partnership for sustainable development, transparency international, extractive industries transparency initiative, UN Convention Against Corruption, global best practices for ease of doing business, and various ratings and rankings. Dozens of global ratings and rankings pertaining to good governance, accountability, transparency, and inclusiveness. There are just a plethora of them, you can count dozens, and so on.
The representative of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, ably represented by the Honorable Minister for Power, His Imperial Majesty, the Ooni of Ife, Your Excellency, sir. My own brother, the indefatigable President of ICAN, Dr. Okosa, very able and hardworking President of our great institute. Honorable ministers and other distinguished participants here present, let me align myself with the already well-established protocol for want of time. I am here to represent and present the Goodwill message of my principal, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator Dr. George Akume, CON, who would have loved, for the interest he has for the Institute, to be here physically present this afternoon. But for the exigencies of his office, he has asked me to present his Goodwill message. It is a privilege for me to be part of the 53rd Annual Accountants Conference with a theme, Nigeria, Imperatives for Inclusive Development, holding this year in the capital city of Abuja. Let me use this opportunity to thank the leadership of the Institute, starting from the President, Dr. Innocent Iweka Okosa, FCA, and the Registrar and the management team of the Great Institute for your role in regulating and continually enhancing the ethical standards and technical competence of world-class chartered accountants in the public interest. I want to assure you that your labor would not be in vain. Together, we shall build a better country for generations to come. This conference is a prestigious annual event designed for and dedicated to all chartered accountants, corporate and public finance leaders in Nigeria and beyond. It is, in fact, one of the largest gatherings of accountants globally, and it is my belief that at the end of this event, we will be able to find solutions to the many lingering challenges that have continuously hindered growth and inclusive development in the country. Inclusive development is not merely a goal. It is the cornerstone of our national vision. It embodies the principles of equity, fairness, and shared prosperity, ensuring that the benefits of economic progress reach every corner of our diverse society. Accountants, as custodians of financial integrity and transparency, play a pivotal role in steering our nation towards these noble objectives. Your dedication to advancing the field of accountancy and your commitment to ethical standards have been pivotal in ensuring fiscal responsibility and accountability within both public and private sectors. Your profession's contributions extend far beyond the realm of numbers. They are integral to building trust, promoting transparency, and fostering a conducive environment for sustainable development. As we navigate the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead, I encourage you to engage in robust discussions, share your invaluable insights, and collaborate with fellow professionals to chart a course towards a more inclusive Nigeria. Your collective wisdom and expertise will undoubtedly be instrumental in shaping policies, practices, and strategies that promote economic growth while leaving no one behind. I have every confidence that this conference will serve as a platform for meaningful dialogue and innovative solutions, reaffirming your commitment to the betterment of our great nation. The federal government of Nigeria acknowledges and appreciates the vital role of ICAN and its members and continue to play in our national development.
Thank you so much, Mara, for being here today. And listening to you on the theme, Nigerian Priorities for Inclusive Governance, what would you like to tell members of the Chartered Institute of Accountants of Nigeria on how we can be part of this inclusivity in Nigeria?
I would like to start by congratulating the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, from the President to the Council members and all the members of the Institute for the celebration of the 53rd Annual Accountants Conference. And I wish them very pleasant stay. While in the theme of imperatives to the Nigerian, inclusive development is a wider message that is being sent out there, that inclusiveness, where all and sundry are carried along. Like I used to remember the slogan for education in US, "Leave no child behind." It means that everybody, both the young and old, the poor and the rich, the women and men should all be involved, because it is this that will assure development, that will not be disparities. And the accountants have a very serious role to play in this by making sure that their functions are shared among all, both at the federal, the states, and the local government. Likewise at the private sectors. Likewise, the private sector, including the micro, small, the medium, and even the big and giant companies, they all need accountants to be able to put together their numbers that will showcase what they have been doing and how they've been doing it well. And all this will lead to an achieved accountability and transparency that is so desired in this economic management of every nation and even individual. So accountants have a very role and a very big role, and I want to encourage them that they should be undoubted to how the economy is turning out, but it is definitely going to be better if they all wake up and perform their role as it's supposed to be. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So what's your general advice to individuals, whether you're chartered, whether you're an accountant or not, in this subject matter?
Yes, just like I mentioned in my speech, that unbankable, that means you need not to be, there are so many people out there that are unbankable. That means they cannot fulfill the criteria for having an account. But with the kind of development that is happening into the fintech, that is financial technology sector, all these are becoming a thing of past. So everybody should embrace this financial inclusiveness, because it is access to financial services that guarantees profitable ventures. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. Have a good evening.
You too.
Wow, you are back. So I'm sure you must have enjoyed the interviews, the plenary sessions, the programs, and all about how far we have moved in the ongoing 53rd Annual Accountant Conference. Of course, I want to thank you all for being part of this show today. We are going to have another edition again on Thursday, so please be reminded to join us on Thursday. On behalf of the producers and editors of this program, I want to say thank you so much and have a lovely evening. I'm Tosin Hakimomi, FCA, saying thank you and bye for watching.